Hi, listeners. My name is Noel, and I'm the Dungeon Master for Do We Level Up? Our show is a D&D 5e podcast. Episodes are available every Thursday wherever you stream your podcasts. We gather each week to play D&D in a homebrew world called Galandria. Join our intrepid group of adventurers, the Peacekeepers, as they battle evil across the continent. We have a diverse and international cast of nerds, so come join us as the players fumble their way through everything and somehow, to my shock and awe, keep coming out the other side relatively unscathed. Follow us on Twitter at DoWeLevelUp1 or on Instagram at DoWeLevelUpPodcast. Thanks, listeners. Hope to see you there.
Oh, hello, friend. Come, join us by the fire. The story's about to begin.
Well, it's been a hot minute, at least for us on this end. And it's been probably a month for you guys, but welcome back to Fireside Dice. Let's see where we left off. Bartholomew, do you want to give us a recap?
Yes. So last time, the main three of us, Bafuur, Suri, and Bartholomew, planeswalked back to Ravnica. Why did I just forget everything that happened last episode? I literally just listened to it yesterday. We came back, went to the Stress Swindler. I got paper from Cynthia, wrote a note for Orpheus. On our way to Vincenzo Siroc's address, we passed by Orzova so I could drop off my letter. And in the process, Suri and Bafuur stood out like a sore thumb in the crowd and got caught by the Azorius. And so we went with the Azorius to New Prov to go on trial, and Bartholomew freely stepped into the Zone of Truth circle to tell the Sphinx person Majig that we are not guilty. We are innocent boys and a girl. And then Vincenzo showed up, was like, hey, I talked to the dead guy, and he says they're okay, and they believed him, and so we're okay. And now we are errand boys for Vincenzo. We have to go back to Innistrad to steal from a very dangerous vampire dude and hopefully not die in the process. And also there's going to be a new person that's joining us to help us out. And Bartholomew is very tired.
You mentioned the main three and a new player. We do have a new player joining us here on Fireside Dice. We've got a party of 4 now.
Woo-hoo!
So I feel like we've gotten to the point where we know the characters pretty well. I want to get to know the players and myself a little bit better. I'm Jens. I'm the Dungeon Master for Fireside Dice, and we're just going to go ahead, just give some quick information about each of us. I'm Jens, and I play Dungeons and Dragons.
Whoa, what? Really? I had no idea.
So yeah, let's just go ahead, hop around the video chat, and we'll just go ahead, get the names and who these people are playing. I think we've talked about it in an Emberside chat, but just so that everyone else here knows.
I'll go first because I hate awkward silence.
Oh wow,
hi,
a new
I'm
voice.
Emma. Don't make me cough. I'm sick. I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
We're good. Hi, I'm Emma. I'm going to be playing Leven. Do I talk much more than that? Do I say anything else, or do we just like leave it a mystery?
It depends. It's up to you. This is your new character, so
I'll leave it there.
okay.
I like to yeah.
Mysterious.
That's right.
She's not playing
That's
a rogue,
me.
we'll tell you that much.
Or am I?
Oh.
All right, who's next?
I'll go. I am Josh. I play Bafuur. As many of you know, Bafuur hates goblins. Josh does not, so that's okay. You don't have to. Don't hold that against the player. Just the character.
All right, up next.
I'm Riley, and I'm playing Suri. She's a magic person. She gets her magic powers from her book.
Definitely not from the entity that controls the book, but sure, go ahead. Believe that.
All right, and I am Skylar. I am playing Bartholomew, who is just awesome in every way possible. He is that lovable grandpa that's in every movie that you just love, and hopefully doesn't die at the end.
Most mentors would die towards the beginning of the story.
True.
You haven't died yet.
That being said, the
We're hoping
story's
that yet
really
is
only
not the operative.
starting like Depending on how long this
True.
podcast goes for, this may still be the beginning of the story. We don't know. So maybe, I don't know. I'm suddenly worried. You've tried to kill me like 3 times.
This could be a prequel.
Oh no.
We don't even know.
Oh, all the story ideas that you guys are just sending my way for free.
Uh-oh.
Free real estate.
All right. So with that and the recap, I hope out of the way, let's go ahead and jump in. Core 3 of you, Bafuur, Suri, and Bartholomew, are leaving Vincenzo Sirac's house. You've been given leeway to rest, to take a break, before going back to Innistrad to recover a particular item requested by Mr. Sirac, the Otherworld Atlas, which is currently in the possession of Streffen Mauer, who 2 of you have met. So, with that in mind, what are you going to do?
Gonna go home and take a long nap. Also, I've realized we're like 12 episodes in, and I guess 6 episodes in from when we talked to Krenko. I still haven't told Bafuur and Suri what Krenko told me, so I should probably do that. They still don't know. So
That would be nice.
yeah, I think we'll go back to Bartholomew's apartment, and unless everyone wants to start with the nap, we could probably go into his study and I can deliver that information.
Yeah, that
Let's
seems
do
like
it.
a good precursor.
So once we
As
get
long
to
as
the
there's
house,
bacon.
I mean, if you want me to take a break and to cook some bacon, I can cook some bacon, Bafuur. I know you didn't get much on Innistrad.
It was hog bacon, not pig. There's a difference.
Ah, good to know. I will not buy hog bacon anymore. Bartholomew's gonna go into his study and just like very heavily sit down in his chair at his desk and just like lean back and just sit there for a moment, like, oh boy, okay. How about I give you guys some information? We've learned a lot recently. Did I tell you guys what Krenko told me? I don't think I told you guys that. Man, it feels like forever
been
ago.
So many events, I'd nearly forgotten about Krenko.
Yeah, me too. So Krenko, let's see. Got to sift through all the information we've just been inundated with. All right, I'll start with the people.
It's called front loading.
Mr. Taz and Fallish. I got some more information on them. Fallish is apparently an ex-Izzet scientist who I can't remember if he said she was kicked out of the Izzet before or after an experiment gone wrong. Krenko and his boys were sent in to the aftermath of the gone wrong explosion thing. And while they were there, they found something he described as alien. It was something weird. He didn't really tell me anything more about it. But Mr. Taz, he has never met Mr. Taz before. Mr. Taz apparently always works through other people, primarily the Dimir. The Dimir are people that usually are associated with delivering information to Krenko from Mr. Taz. But he was not happy because the Dimir tried to look into the minds of the workers who were going through the wreckage, and apparently there weren't even memories for them to siphon. Like, the people could not remember anything. Their minds had already been wiped of the experience. And that made Mr. Taz really mad, and it freaked out the Dimir. I think that's everything he told me. Yep,
Do we know
that's
of
it.
anything or anyone that can wipe people's minds like that?
I've heard plenty of stories that the Dimir can. I'm sure that there's other people that may know how, some way. But that's primarily a Dimir thing, but the fact that the Dimir didn't know who did it is weird.
Never heard of any type of magic like that.
That's what Krenko told me. That's what he was so afraid of, and that's why the Guild Pact wanted him. I think they probably wanted more information on this artifact his men found.
Did you say their memories were wiped after the scientific aftermath? Whatever that was?
He didn't really specify when it happened. He just said that the Dimir tried to get into the heads of the people involved, and there was no memories for them to find.
Interesting.
Don't really know what to do with that information at this point. It kind of feels moot now that we're done with the whole Krenko fiasco.
That being said, that still means that there are people in the government who are now aware, very aware of us and our involvement with Krenko, who wanted Krenko for whatever reason, whether to interrogate and question or to remove his knowledge
Yeah. And
of the
unfortunately, because of the zone
experiences.
of truth I was in at the hearing, there's a lot of people that know that we let him go.
It sounds like our best course of action might be to tread lightly.
Which leaving the world will make that easier. I
True.
guess there's a little bit of ray of sunshine to going back to Innistrad. No offense, Suri.
Oh, I completely understand. I hardly want to go back there either now.
Yeah. So we have a couple of days. I don't know what you guys want to do. I'm gonna rest. I gotta go back to Orzova and talk to Orpheus because I owe him a debt, and you never owe the Orzov a debt.
Or you always owe the
Or
Orsov
that.
debt.
You never want to owe a debt to the Orzov.
That's a better phrase.
So I'm probably gonna do that tomorrow, honestly. I just want to rest. It's been a long week. Real quick, Jens, I was just thinking, what state is my apartment in? Because we know that the Azorius checked it out after we left. Like, they were banging the door down as we left. Like,
So that gets to be an interesting piece because the Azorius, there's a few different ways that they could go about it. The way that I'm going to have it be done, at least in this case, was they wanted the full scene to just be pristine and exactly the way that they found it.
Okay.
Because that way they could more easily find discrepancies or stuff like that. And so your apartment, while it was under detainment,
mm-hmm.
it has been relinquished to you, and nothing seems to have been moved or changed in any fashion.
Bafuur and Suri, what are your thoughts on the business with Vincenzo and this quest that he's given us?
I don't trust him. But yeah, like Suri said, he helped us.
I was gonna say he helped us a lot, but he is asking us to do something remarkably dangerous.
Yeah, and the fact that this is, in his mind, only the beginning of paying him back. I'm a little concerned about how long we're going to be tied to this guy.
It seems to me that going up against Streffenmauer for him, the possibility of that should be payment enough for what he did.
I agree.
He did say he would be giving us someone to help us with that endeavor, though. I wonder what they must owe him.
Yeah, it's a good question. I also wonder, are they going to find us, or are we going to have to go back to Vincenzo to meet them? Wonder how that all's going to work. But regardless, hopefully they're trustworthy at least.
What was it he wanted us to get again?
He called it the Otherworld Atlas. It sounds like an artifact that allows him to view other planes of existence without having to travel to them. I'm not quite sure. It sounds like a very powerful and potentially dangerous artifact depending on who has it, but also very useful.
So, taking a long rest for the night, Bartholomew, are you going to collapse in the chair? Are you going to go up to your bed?
I think
The other two of you, what are your sleeping arrangements going to be here in Bart's house?
I think he's going to wait for the other two to go to bed first before he goes up to bed, and he's going to take some time to look through his apartment, especially downstairs, just to make sure nothing's been removed, nothing's been messed up. And then he's going to grab a fresh new journal and start jotting down notes of what's happened recently, what they're doing next, and just kind of formulate his thoughts a little bit in this book before going up to bed.
Okay, I want you to roll an investigation check for that. If you would like to, because you're not under any sort of pressure, you can take a 10.
14.
14?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't appear that anything's been altered. The downstairs, you can tell that there was some level of interest because it's not particularly clean. While you come down here somewhat regularly, you don't keep it very well maintained, just to make sure that you can tell if anyone else has been down here.
Mm-hmm.
And there is it's almost pristine.
Okay.
So they were down here quite a bit. They cleaned it up, and
Interesting.
it seems like they are looking into things.
You don't have to give me like a specific item, but does he find that anything's missing?
You grabbed the journals that were on the shelf. There were a couple
Mhm.
of other trinkets and artifacts that you had lying on the shelf.
There was a large chest that he had locked. I don't know if that's been busted into, and he had a banner on the wall that was not a Ravnican faction.
Banner is gone, and you
Oh,
can tell
great.
that the chest has been gotten into.
He's just gonna sigh. Is the chest, is it broken? Like, is he still gonna be able to lock it?
Oh, you'll still be able to lock it. It seems as though they used some sort of spell or enchantment to get through the tumblers.
Okay. He's just gonna sigh and close it up again and lock it. Look up at the wall where his banner was and just shake his head and walk out, locking the basement door behind him.
Any
Where
feedback from the other two of you?
Where are Bafuur and Suri sleeping for the night?
That's up to you guys. I mean, the house is pretty free reign.
You guys had
I'm
your
going.
rooms that you stayed in the first time. I don't know.
Right. Bafuur's going to raid the kitchen.
So, late in the night, after you suspect that everyone else has gone to bed, Bafuur gets up, lights a candle. Doesn't even really need to light a candle. You do have dark vision if you would like to
Yep.
use that.
Dark vision works for me.
Okay. You get up, slink your way downstairs. I want you to roll a stealth check, please.
Oh, fantastic. An 8.
Great, 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 great.
Oh yeah.
That's a single
Okay.
digit.
For neither one of your companions are particularly heavy sleepers tonight. Like, they're tired, but both of them seem to have a lot to think about. So as you go down to the kitchen, you get into the pantry, you're rifling through stuff, and before you're able to fully figure out what sort of snack you would like, a light turns on.
I just keep rifling through the food.
Bartholomew just sort of steps into the kitchen and casts dancing lights, and like the little lights float up around the ceiling. He's like, Bafuur, if I had known you were hungry, I would have gotten you some before we went to bed. What are you after?
I'm not sure yet.
And
I'll
then
tell you when I find it.
Bartholomew will open the cupboards and show him all the different things that he has. I don't know what state they're in because I can't remember how long it's been since we were here. It looks...
Is there implements for making a sandwich of some sort?
There's enough, yeah.
Okay. Bafuur is going to take any forms of meat, cheese that he can find, and any type of sauces that he can find, and he's just going to put them all together and try to stack as high of a sandwich as he possibly can.
A good old Scooby-Doo sandwich.
Heck yeah.
Bartholomew just watches this process for a little bit before being like, okay, just make sure you clean up when you're done. And then he goes back upstairs. Dancing lights following him in like a little trail before blinking out when he gets to his room.
There was like a panoramic view of watching Bartholomew leave the kitchen. It's just Bafuur in the background trying to open his mouth even wider to try to get a bite of this thing.
So he's just sitting in a room and sees Bafuur walk past with the sandwich and the lights following him. And
He's just got like a dagger stabbed through the top of the sandwich to hold it all together.
See, this is that pocket bacon flavor that I've been missing. So, sandwiches and sleep are had, and the next morning comes around. A little bit earlier than most people would like. Bartholomew, you are awake. Sleep was not fitful, but not fully restful. No points of exhaustion for anything like that. You did get a full long rest. But you hear the bell ring at the door.
Bartholomew will like pop out of his room, go to the head of the stairs, and just call down, "I'll be there in a minute," and then he'll rush back into his room and put on some clothes so he's not in his sleep attire, and then go back down to the front door, and he will cautiously open it.
You see standing before you. Emma, would you like to describe your character?
I would love to. So, standing before you, is a 7-foot tall, looks to be a merfolk, feminine in appearance. She has hair that probably falls mid back, long, dark green type color, and her eyes glow almost like an orange color. She has green colored skin with some modeling across it. She has a basic spear strapped to her back, but that's about it. And she's standing there, very tall, on the doorstep.
Bartholomew's gonna like look her up and down and be like, "You're not Simic. You must be Vincenzo's friend."
You could call me that.
All right, come on in, come on in. He opens the door the rest of the way and ushers her in.
How tall are door frames and everything here? Like, are we like standard 8-foot mark?
It depends on the household, really. This one here is a
Mhm.
pretty standard 8-foot.
Okay. Okay,
The
cool.
interior being between 10 and 12 feet ceilings.
Okay, cool. No maneuverability problems then. Nice. She will step in and just take a quick glance around, not going too much further into the house, just trying to get a good sense of her surroundings before going any further.
I'm gonna need to get some floor plans drawn up, aren't I?
I mean, I
could tell
don't
you-
need a floor
I could
plan.
tell you how
but...
I picture it. The way I've been picturing it is as soon as you walk in the front door, to your left is an open doorway into the study area that has a big bay window looking out onto the street. To the right is the entryway into the kitchen area. And then directly in front, there is a hallway with the left half taken up by the staircase to the top floor. And then the hallway wraps around the staircase to the back, where there's the doorway to the downstairs. And then once you go up the stairs, to the left is the master bedroom, and to the right are the two smaller bedrooms. It's kind of how I've been picturing it, with a back door to like a little garden area in the back.
All right, so Leven, you come in, and this is a
Mhm.
fairly well furnished house. It's not like extravagant, not like Castle Lochthwain back where you're from, but still cozy, I think is the word that they would use. It's not too much, but it's enough that you're just like, huh.
Good to know. Good to know.
You've caught me just as I was waking up. I haven't had time to run to the market real quick and grab some food. Can I interest you in some bread, baby? If Balfour left any. Hey, Balfour, Suri! Vincenzo's friend is here. If you're awake. If not, go ahead and keep sleeping.
Cut to Bafuur, like kind of popping up off his head off the pillow, crumbs just rolling out of his beard onto the floor everywhere. Plate kind of slides off his lap onto the ground. Bafuur will come down.
I'm good. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
I've eaten already.
Wow. Man, you're an early riser. I can respect that. Balfour, did you leave any food left?
Door opens, comes down the stairs, scratching his beard, kind of rubbing his face, trying to get the sleep out. Crumbs still just sprinkling all over. There's bread, but you have no more meat. You need more meat.
Okay, good to know. Is there anything else that you need? Hey, Suri, did you want anything specific for breakfast?
Suri will come down just kind of shortly after Bafuur rubbing her eyes. I'm okay for the moment. Maybe in a minute.
Okay, because if you want anything, I'm gonna go to the market real quick and pick some things up. So, what's my
Oh.
shopping list?
Bacon.
Bacon. Oh, that's
Lots
a given
of bacon.
at this point.
If you could just get a sweet roll, that would be great.
All right, I can see if the bakery's got one made. Leven, are you sure you don't want anything? Have you told me your name? You haven't told me your name. What's your name?
I'm Leven. Are things always this? She pauses for a moment and looks at all three housemates. Domestic? Are things always this domestic? I was under the impression that this was a very different setup that you had going on.
Well, you're in my home. You were my guests. I need to make sure that you were well taken care of. I would be a bad host otherwise.
This is actually only my second time staying over.
Huh.
You know what? I'll just get you a sweet roll too. And Bartholomew's gonna run back up to his room, grab his money, finish getting dressed, and then rush back down. And as he passes everyone, I'll be back, and then closes the door behind him and runs off to the market to get some food.
Okay,
Balfour's just go ahead.
the amount of food that you're going to be able to get, it's to get your full total, it's not going to take more than about 5 gold.
I mean, I was probably only gonna get enough to make like one meal because I'd imagine we're leaving soon. So
For one meal, it would be like 1 gold.
Okay.
If you wanted to like fully restock.
nah, he's not gonna
Man,
bother
inflation-
restocking because we have no idea how long we're gonna be gone.
Travel bacon.
Can't escape inflation even in D&D. Oof.
Balfour's just gonna be staring up at Leven, who is about 5 feet or 4 feet taller than him.
hmm Leven will sense the eyes on her, and she'll stare back down at. Is it pronounced Bafuur?
Balfour.
Bafuur, thank you. And go as long without blinking as she possibly can. Doesn't say anything, just stares him down.
Staring match. No blinking
I
on my
want the
side.
two of you to make Constitution saving rolls.
Okay,
That's what it's
Okay.
about.
okay.
Right now, I'm picturing that video of Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans with the donut, and Elizabeth Olsen in the middle of them, just like looking back and forth. That's what Suri is. Elizabeth Olsen in that
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah, she's just watching them both.
Did you say that was a Constitution check or a Constitution saving throw?
Saving throw.
Oh,
Saving
saving
throw.
throw.
Okay.
Much better.
It's a 16 for Leven.
It's a 16 per Balfour.
Oh, they blink at the same time, but neither of them realizes
Yep.
it because they both blinked.
The staring match continues for several minutes at this pace.
Cersei sees that happen and just she's about to say something but stops herself.
And she's just chuckling there in the background the whole time. This goes on for about 5 minutes. What are your Constitution scores, the two of you?
For saving. Oh, for scores total?
Mhm.
12.
14.
At some point, Bafuur blinks first, but by the barest amount. And Suri notices, Leven notices. And Bafuur, as he opens his eyes, sees Leven blinking and is like, "Ha! You failed."
Ah, pointing up at her. I saw it. I saw it. Walks up, kind of holds his hand up and out, kind of reaching up towards her for a handshake.
She'll take his hand. She'll kind of smirk and take his hand, shake it.
Yeah, Ciri's giggling.
I like you.
Respect.
What's your name?
Leven? I go by Leven.
Balfour.
Barfer.
Balfour.
Balder.
Balfour.
Boffer. Got you.
Close enough. We'll work on that.
And Leven will look over to the other person standing there. And you are?
Where are my manners? I'm sorry. It's a pleasure.
Nice to meet you, Suri.
I've met some merfolk before. You wouldn't happen to be from Innistrad, would you?
No, not Innistrad.
Probably a good thing.
Yes, quite. The merfolk there are quite savage.
Have you always been so green?
I used to be blue.
I didn't actually know that. about merfolk.
Well, that answers that question. Have you always been so tall?
Yes.
Hmm.
I was born like this.
I get all the luck. Balfour's just like, you see him out of the corner of your eye, just kind of like looking down at his legs, kind of checking his height off the ground, looking back at her, shrugs his shoulders, just kind of, oh well.
If it makes you feel any better, I'm short for where I come from.
I like you more already.
Leven, if you don't mind me asking, what is the reason you're working with Vincenzo?
I'm going to
If
go
you
ahead
know
and
it.
tell you the terms and conditions are that you are not to disclose the full information.
That's what I figured. Well, sorry, that is for me to know.
Understood. Little bit
So-
sus.
Little sus.
Not terribly long after this conversation, Bartholomew comes back. Everyone is blinking profusely after such a long and strained competition.
I imagine,
They're all
like, as he
sitting in
opens the
the-
door, he bumps into Leven. He's like, "Oh, why are you guys still standing in the entryway? There's like chairs in the study. You didn't have to stand. He's gonna like shuffle in and take the food, the groceries into the kitchen and set him down and start dishing out the food that he got to everyone.
Balfour immediately follows him to the kitchen.
Bafuur is a simple man.
Food is good.
As Bartholomew's like starting a fire in the little stove and getting ready to cook some breakfast, he's gonna be like, "Did I miss anything? You guys have some good bonding time while I was gone?"
You
Yes.
could say that.
Good, good. We're all gonna be working together. Might as well get along.
How much bacon did Bartholomew buy?
The
Probably
Ravnican
not enough.
equivalent of like just one of the packages you get at Walmart, just like the average size package of bacon.
Just 1 pound? Come on, man.
Normal bar S.
You could have at least got the apple smoked.
They were still actively smoking it. I didn't have time.
This isn't even thick cut.
Oh my goodness.
As he's like tending the fire, he's "Hey Leven, can you open that cupboard up there and grab one of the serving platters? I don't know why I put them that high up. I can never get them."
Yes.
Yeah, just that one right there.
Okay.
Yep. Nope. The one to the
This-
right. Just that one up
This.
top shelf.
Oh.
Yeah, those plates. They're the bigger ones, so
She'll-
figure. Yeah.
She'll
Thank you.
grab one, pull it down. She has no idea, frankly, what's happening, but she's too afraid to question it at this point.
So, breakfast. What does breakfast consist of?
It
Bartholomew?
consists of the bacon, sliced bread with a little bit of butter. Probably not one of those giant eggs from last time. No, actually, because there's an extra person. Yeah, he got one of those big like ostrich eggs from last time and scrambles all of that up for everyone.
Yeah, the good old rock egg. It'll get enough for
And he
everyone.
probably grabbed a head of lettuce because he realized as he was shopping that he doesn't know what Levin's diet consists of. So he decided to get something to cover all bases.
It's like, yeah, this is vegetarian.
This is a plant that'll work.
Leven will let the others serve themselves first before looking at the spread.
That Bartholomew's probably put together a plate with everything plus the head of lettuce and handed it to you first because you're the newest guest.
Oh, okay.
If anything's not to your liking, just let me know. I'll see if I can whip something else up.
So you just set it right down. Everyone else gets their plates. They're starting to dig in, and you're just like, "What is going on?"
Very much so. I'm trying to even think. Okay, DM, does Leven know what lettuce is? I'm thinking of where her quote unquote hometown is. I'm imagining they don't have lettuce there.
It's a very strange looking form of kelp.
Land kelp. Excellent. Leven will poke at the various types of food. She'll sample bits and pieces. She takes as many bites as is required to even approach polite, but you can, if you're paying any sort of attention, you can tell she's not overly thrilled before she'll just kind of silently push the platter towards Bafuur.
Balfour, without really missing a beat, just reaches up, grabs the bacon that she didn't eat, puts it on
Yeah.
his plate, and keeps eating.
Yeah.
Bartholomew
Sounds about right.
100% notices this discomfort and is like, "Is there anything else that you like? I'm not entirely sure what you eat."
You really do not have to feed me.
Are you
I
sure?
have eaten.
Okay.
Yes.
Just making sure you're taken
Yes,
care of.
Thank you. Yes, we're excellent here. Thank you.
All right. Good to hear.
Balfour shoves some bacon in a couple of his pockets before licking the plate clean.
Dang.
Has Leven's seen dwarves before, right? She knows what dwarves are.
You have seen dwarves, but when I'm saying that you've seen dwarves, we're talking like Snow White and the Seven Dwarves.
Okay.
Okay. So immediately following breakfast, you guys have an opportunity to talk about the mission, figure out what you need to do, get ready, what tasks you might want to take care of. Orpheus. Oh, what? Sorry, what was that?
I don't know. Okay, I hope you all enjoyed your breakfast. We should probably get down to the matter at hand. There's a number of things that we need to do. I need to go speak with Orpheus back at Orzova. I need to take care of that debt because you never want to be in debt to the Orzhov. So I got to go take care of that. Levin, how much do you know about our mission that Vincenzo's given us?
As much as you know about it.
All right.
Very little.
Okay. Before I explain the mission, follow-up question. You're not from Ravnica. That's pretty obvious to see just looking at you. I mean, there's merfolk here, but they don't look like you. I'm assuming you're a merfolk. You have some of the... Anyway.
It's the gills, isn't it?
Have you planeswalked on purpose before? Or is this the first world you've been to since you left your home world?
This is not the first world
Okay.
I've been to. As for purposeful, to a degree.
Okay. I take it, have you ever been to Innistrad? You know what that is? Have you...
I don't know.
Okay. Let's take a moment then. I'm going to explain how planeswalking works. We're going to explain to you what Innistrad is like. Spoiler alert, it sucks. It's a terrible place. Suri's been there, she'll agree with me. It's just not great, but we have to go there anyway. Do you remember that first moment when you were taken from your homeworld and you were brought to here or wherever you ended up first?
I do.
Okay. So that feeling, planeswalking on purpose is very similar, but you have more of a sense of control. That yanking feeling of being pulled from where you are currently to somewhere new, it stays relatively the same, but rather than something grabbing you and yanking, it's more of you grabbing onto something and pulling yourself through. Almost like you're grabbing a handle through a doorway and pulling yourself through. In order for it to work, it really helps to know the place that you're going to. The more often you've been there, the easier it is to get there. In your case, you've never been to Innistrad. So we're going to take some time to try and really explain this place to you so that you get as good of a sense as possible. And then when it comes time for us to planeswalk, I'll send Bafuur and Suri first, and then we'll have you try it. And I'll do my best to follow you and make sure you get there. But then he's going to cast Dancing Lights, a lot like he did with Bafuur and Suri. Each light being the werewolf and the vampire, the cathedral, and Avacyn's collar. And he's going to go into depth explaining how it's like in a constant state of twilight, that there's monsters that roam the land, there's various different things that the people there have to be aware of. And he's going to leave openings in the conversation for Bafuur and Suri to interject and give their 2 cents, particularly Suri, since that's her home world.
Just adding on that the angels have also turned against the humans there and have started attacking, and usually they're meant to help the humans, but stuff has gone really bad there recently. Worse than normal, which is saying something.
Bafuur gives her the brief on his experience going to Innistrad. And kind of talks about how it was his first time purposefully planeswalking, what it felt like to him, the encounter with the priest, the discovery of some sort of magic, and then kind of briefly describes the peril of having to face the vampire child and the aftermath of that. Just kind of giving her the sense of gloom and impending peril that Innistrad just reeks of.
Yeah, that's a great thing to focus on.
I mean, if you focus on it, you'll definitely end up in Innistrad.
Oh yeah.
That's probably the number one way to get there is just focus on your depression.
I like Innistrad. I don't like the way that you're treating it.
I like it too. I think it's
I
cool.
love it too. It's a terrible place to live.
I can't fault that logic.
Yeah.
I feel like at this point, the no offense series kind of implied whenever we
Yeah.
talk about Innistrad.
Yeah, seriously.
So, Levin, I know this is overwhelming. This is a lot of information. Just the knowledge alone that there's more than one world kind of blew my mind when I figured it out. How are you feeling? What are your thoughts?
I think that there's too much on my mind to properly identify what I'm thinking overall. But from what I can tell so far, I don't feel as though I will be misled by you all, your lot.
Oh, no, absolutely not. We're gonna do everything in our power to take care of you. That's what we do. We'll try.
I
Well,
can't take care of myself, but thank
Oh,
you.
I'm sure you can. Just looking at that spear over there in the corner, like I'm sure you can take care of yourself when we get there. It's the getting there that I'm a little worried about because it's not an easy thing to do.
The way you carry yourself shows that you've practiced combat.
Thank you for noticing.
I think there will be more time for Bafuur and Suri to talk to you about Innistrad. Hopefully, we can really get you into that mind space where you are confident enough when it comes time to planeswalk there. We'll probably want to make sure that we have enough provisions. And like I said, I gotta go talk to Orpheus, and he's gonna glance out at the window at the position of the sun, kind of like gauging what time of day it is, and be like, I should probably go that sooner rather than later. You three are welcome to stay here if you want. Balfour, Surrey, if you guys, or 11, if you guys feel confident enough to go out on the town, if you want to get the provisions while I go to Orzova, we can do that, or I can pick it up on the way back.
We can take care of the shopping.
I think we probably won't be able to do much planning as to how we're gonna steal the Otherworld Atlas from Malfer, Streffenmauer, not Malfer, Streffenmauer. We'll probably want to be there. We're gonna want to run some recon probably. I've been to Innistrad, but I don't know much more about this vampire lord than what me and Balfour learned in our encounter with him. So we'll probably have to wait till we get there to really flesh out a plan.
Sounds like a plan. A plan to plan.
So, breakfast has been had. Initial discussions have been made.
I think we've got our plan.
And
Bartholomew's gonna go to Orzova, and the rest of the group is gonna go shopping.
Hey!
Welcome to the podcast, Emma. Shopping episode right off the bat.
Yeah.
Put it in,
Nice.
loser. We're going shopping.
Nice. I'm so excited.
Bartholomew, you're going to Orsova. Let's go ahead and start out with you, and then we'll see what the shopping goes like for everyone else, which will take all of 5 minutes.
All right. As soon as he's separated from the group, like his very friendly, optimistic demeanor is kind of going to drop for the duration of his trip to Orzova. Just thinking about everything that he's been through and his visit home. He's going to spend most of the trip like in the subway, holding on to the little thing, like rubbing the locket in his finger, just thinking as he makes his way there.
You come out on the plaza, just right in front of Orsova. Go inside, and it's a fairly open area. Open laterally, it's voluminous. Looking up,
I'll just find, I don't know if Orzova has like a front desk secretary or if it's just sort of a walk in and grab someone, be like, "Hi, I'm supposed to be meeting with Orpheus, or I need to speak with Orpheus if he's available."
So there's two different parts to kind of the Orsov headquarters. There's Orsova, which is kind of like the main, like, churchy side of things. And then there's Viscopa, which is right next door. And that one definitely has, like, front door secretaries. It's a full-blown bank.
No, what do I know about Orpheus and his responsibilities in the church? Like, would I know that he's more of a banker, or is he more of the ecclesiastical side of things?
For most Orsovans, it is both.
I will probably, I'll go to the church portion to ask someone or ask around for him, see if I can find him there first.
So going in to Orsova itself, you go in, wander, and within 5 minutes, Orpheus and you end up finding each other. Whether that be someone told him that you're here or someone told you that he's here, doesn't particularly matter.
Okay.
He leads you into one of the small alcoves off to the side, very similar to where you and the crew went to have Krenko revived.
And before he'd walked into Orzova, he'd put back on his generally optimistic face, although it's a little sour being in Orzova. He doesn't want to let on to Orpheus that he's in any form of emotional duress.
Bartholomew, it's so good to see you.
Yes, good to see you too. Sorry, it's taken me so long to pay off my debt, but I'm here to answer your questions.
About that, considering the time that it took for you to come for the first interview, I want a second. Call it usury, if you will.
Okay. I don't feel like I have a choice in the matter, so that's fine. I will
Oh, there's
insist,
always a
though.
choice.
Okay.
I mean, we could interview you, or I could interview one of your friends if you like.
No, you can interview me. I must insist, though, that there not be a time limit this time because my associates and I are being sent on a job away from the 10th district, and I am unsure how long we'll be away. So I cannot promise another return date.
Pressing business?
You could say that. Gotta make a living.
This wouldn't happen to be for another guild, would it?
No, it's a guildless association. After that business with the guild pact recently, I've kind of lost interest in working with the guilds, at least for the time being.
You know that you're always welcome here with us.
Yes, I'm sure I am, along with my coin purse and pocketbook.
Oh, you know us too well.
I pick up on things pretty quick.
Well, that's one of the first things that I want to find out. I mean, you popped up out of nowhere, bought the house in Concordance, through no small measure of our help, and it seems as though there was no small reason for you to be there. I mean, what brought you here to Ravnica, to the 10th district?
Well, I'm a wanderer, as you've clearly picked up on. I'm a fan of stories. I like to hear stories about different people, and I think you and I can both agree that if there's anywhere in Ravnica to get good stories, it's going to be the 10th district.
Yes, this is kind of the hub of what all goes on.
Yep. And so that's what brought me here.
So are you a reporter of some kind? I don't see you in any of the papers.
No, I just collect stories for my own amusement. Sometimes I'll share stories from things that I've heard with children tend to enjoy them the most, but sometimes I can get adults to listen in on my tales, but I just like to learn.
And what is it that you hope to learn here other than fairy tales?
Nothing in particular. I've learned that the more you listen, the more amazing the world around you becomes. I spent too much of my life worrying about things that were out of my control, so I took control of my own story. And now I'm listening to others to learn from them and to help people along the way if I can. There's a lesson in every story after all, so
Oh, you speak like you're from the Selesnya Conclave.
if there was any guild I'd join,
Oh,
they'd be probably the front runner. Even they have some philosophies that I disagree with.
truly. I can't tell whether to be hurt or impressed.
I just won't tell you where Orsova falls on that list. How about that?
Oh, that is harmful. At least tell me that we're above the Azorius.
I'll say you're above the Rakdos.
That is not a very high bar there.
Is that the end of your questions? Or is there anything else you'd like to know?
How is it that you met your two friends?
The Guild Pact. All three of us were summoned for a job, and we became work associates through them.
And you're just going to have your work associates live with you?
They got nowhere else to be.
That's some interesting information. Well, you seem to be in a hurry. I don't think that I'm fully satisfied, but considering how cagey you've been about yourself, I'll wait for the second interview.
And there will only be one more.
For now.
Bartholomew's just going to smile in the way he learned to do in the courts. The smile of, I hate your guts, but I'm not going to tell you that.
And Orpheus escorts him out, opens the door, gives that same smile of, I know you hate my guts, but I love this anyway. Bye now.
Enjoy the rest of your day, Orpheus. And he'll turn and walk away.
Oh, I certainly will. So the other three of you, are you going to do the shopping before Bartholomew comes back, or is that a Bartholomew was going to get it on his way back?
think we were going to take care of it while
Yeah.
he was out.
Mm-hmm.
This way, Balfour can
Shall
get the
we? So-
proper amount of bacon for the trip.
And yeah, the thick bacon.
'Cause, I mean, where we're going, you never know. He might never get bacon again.
Okay. Leven,
Yes.
you've been to a couple of others, but no really big towns. This is something else.
It is. I think that a part of her would want to stay back at the house, but she also recognizes that this is a place she's unfamiliar with, and even though she's unfamiliar with these people as well, it's a lesser of two evils to go with them than stay somewhere she has no familiarity with. So she will accompany them, as overwhelming and nerve-wracking as it might be, and she'll do her best just to keep up a calm and cool exterior.
Balfour seemed to notice any of that.
Okay, and what do you do about it?
Oh, sorry, my mic was up there. Probably couldn't hear that very well. Does he seem to notice that?
Roll an
Uh,
insight check.
Could I do an insight check as well?
Sure.
Oh, what do we get?
7.
How does 5 sound?
The two of you are far more worried about what sort of bacon you're going to get and getting the proper sort of rations.
The important things, really.
Yes. And Leven is standing there in the back. I don't know if she's the sort of person who the spear would still be on her back, or she clutching that as the one last piece of home that she's still got.
She'd have it strapped to her back. She's not going to cling to it.
I was just gonna ask if we know the way to get to the store.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty simple. A little corner market.
So Balfour has a a scimitar from the first encounter with Kranko that he picked up and still has carrying around, and he wants to sell it or trade it for things. Where would he be able to do that?
Not at the corner stall, I'll tell you that much. But I can totally see him pulling it out, being like, all right, how much for this?
How much
It's in his
bacon?
backpack, so he reaches back and just kind of like hand over hand like pulls it out. It's like, so I've been carrying this around, guys. I think we should sell it and get some food with it.
Is this like a bag of holding that you have, or is it just like a normal backpack?
No, he's just really short, and so he has to like
Okay,
pull it
so
all
it's
the way
just
through the
always
straps.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I was
He's been
trying to
walking around with a scimitar on his back. Just
Okay.
The shopkeep looks at you, is just like, I don't, what?
Buffer, he has no need for weapons.
everybody has need for weapons. How do you think he got all this bacon?
Not
Probably-
like that.
Probably from the butcher.
Oh,
Sir,
that makes sense.
Are you okay?
I believe so. Are you
He's-
okay?
No. I can't accept this as a form of payment.
I assure you, we have gold. We just need some rations for hopefully a few days trip, and some bacon that Balfour will specify.
I hand him 1 gold piece and tell him I want as much bacon as I can for this.
Oh dear, the things that I need to look up.
And just to make this clear, this is Balfour's one and only gold piece.
Oh my gosh.
What did you spend your pouch of Xenos on?
I think Bartholomew
we have
has
money
all the
from-
money that
Yeah, I
we
don't
got
have
from
any money.
Nasius. Nasius gave us like,
I
was it 10? How much did he give us? I actually don't know if I wrote that down.
I have 9 currently because I gave 1 to somebody at the tavern, I think.
I have
Yeah, I recall that it was 10 each with a bag of, I think, 50 upon completion of the job, which
Okay.
didn't ever happen.
Yeah, we technically
Oh.
didn't complete the job.
I should probably put that
Okay,
down. 'Cause
well-
I've only been operating on the 10 gold I got at the start from my background.
Same.
sure-
I got 3. Maybe
Sure
2.
completed Nasius's job for him, though.
We didn't finish it though, so we never got the finished payment.
I was saying he got killed in the process, so now he doesn't have to work.
Oh,
Okay, I have a technical question. So, how are you guys operating with food and rations and whatnot?
I'm generally not tracking it, but they seem to
Okay.
want this to happen.
Okay. Okay, no worries. I just wanted to know how religiously I need to track things.
Yeah, we don't keep track of it, but I just felt like it would make sense that we would go out of our way to acquire
Oh,
it.
absolutely. Yes.
We can't be
Yes, yes, yes,
starving
yes.
warriors.
Okay.
Yeah. We need our bacon, especially since like this was a whole thing in one of the episodes. Innistrad does not have bacon. At least the bacon they've got is like
It's been a whole
super.
thing in one episode. This whole campaign has been a through line from the pocket bacon in episode 2.
I was gonna say I just listened to episode 2 like last night.
Yeah.
And there was bacon in it. So
The only reason we didn't have bacon in episode 1 is literally because we were just doing character introductions, and it'd be very weird to say, "Hi, I am Bafuur, and I like bacon."
Yeah, he only had the
I need to
bacon in
go
the
to
first
Baconholics
place.
Anonymous at this point.
That's some character
It's-
development.
Seriously.
it's his shtick.
It's his bond at this point. We'll do anything for bacon.
I mean, it kept me from being eaten by a troll when I first landed here. So yeah, that troll is really nice to me now, as long as I have bacon.
So-
Sorry, I keep interrupting.
keep
This
on
is my
going.
last interruption. What's the
No,
quality
don't
of
lie.
what's the quality of the fish at this stand, if there are even any?
Most of the fish is going to be more in precinct 4 and 5, I want to say, over by the Simic, but it
Pretty
is
much on the other
shipped
side
over
of town.
here. Yeah, it's shipped over here, not quite daily, but it's fairly good quality.
And fish on
Okay.
Ravnica, I imagine, is going to be a lot more like cave-dwelling fish, because Ravnica, there isn't any surface-level oceans. There's an underground, underground ocean that spans all across under the city. And
that's cool.
the Simic Combine, they've set up their place in these sinkholes that go down to this underground ocean, and so they'd be fishing up basically cave fish from it.
There is also like the fish alternative products, like the stuff that tastes like fish grown by the Golgari.
Okay.
Totally not new.
I don't think Leven would even know that there are fish alternatives. She'll buy a couple fish for the road. How much would that cost? That's, I guess, is the follow-up question.
That would be like 5 copper.
Okay.
Now, for a whole gold piece, he says,
Mhm.
I don't have enough bacon for all of this.
Half a gold piece, 2 silver,
Sir, that would clear out my whole stock.
and
Okay.
Is it just like 50 packages of bacon? Are they like a penny each?
I took it based off of the price of 1 full chicken.
ooh, chickens are cheap. That's the best way to feed a mimic.
That's a lot of bacon.
Seriously. Okay, so we're looking at 25 packs of bacon.
Beautiful. Cooked or uncooked?
This is raw.
Okay,
And you do get 2 silver back.
amazing.
2 25 zip pieces.
Can we just get some rations and she'll put two silvers on the table as well?
So getting some road rations.
I don't mean to make you look up a bunch of stuff.
No, this is fine. This is better than looking at, holy crap, the amount of bacon that we're getting.
Yeah.
How many pieces are in each pack?
I'll just Google a pack of bacon real quick and see what it looks like.
It's generally like
That's 20.
12 slices, something like that.
Depends on how big. If it's a pound, if each pack is a pound, and it's thin cut, you're looking at 20 to 25. Thick cut, you're looking at 10 to 15.
So according to porkcdn.com,
Yes.
thin slices come at about 35 strips per pound. Regular
that's more than I
slices
thought.
are 16 to 20, and thick slices are 12 to 16 per pound.
Okay.
There you go, listeners. All your bacon information needs right here on Fireside Dice.
I'm just gonna call it 15 strips a pack for a thick cut.
Okay. This is the important details.
Mhm.
Oh, it will be.
So it says rations for 1 day in the PHB is 5 silver pieces, but that's going based off of decimal per delineation.
Yeah.
So 2 will get you 1 pack of trail rations.
Probably need like 5, right?
I have some. You don't need
Oh,
to
yeah,
purchase any
that's
for
right.
me. Thank you.
We'll be good with like 4, so I'll put 2 gold on the table, right? Does that equate?
So if you're looking for like trail mix with
Oh.
chocolate on the inside and like hardtack,
Yeah.
Lembas bread.
yeah, some like Selesnya whey bread, Rakdos fire juice, all sorts of fun stuff in this pack. And here I said this was going to take 5 minutes. It's taking 5 minutes for the bacon packing alone.
Yeah, Balfour's like taking his backpack off, set it on the ground, and is just like stuffing each pack in there.
Is bacon? Are you still growing? Is it required? She's
mean-
addressing Bafuur.
I'm always growing, just horizontally.
Oh, you're full grow. Oh,
Oh yeah,
huh.
I myself am in my mid-30s.
For Suri's information, the trail rations for 3 days would be 1 Xeno and 2 25 zip pieces.
Oh, not bad. Okay. That puts me at 850 or 849.
And the 3 of you get back to the house. It doesn't take you terribly long. And you get back. Bafuur starts cooking up the bacon to make sure that it's good for the road.
All of it.
Bartholomew's apartment's
Go
gonna
ahead
smell
and-
so bad when we get back.
Go ahead and do some math down in the comments for how many pieces of bacon Bafuur has. We'll be waiting. Bartholomew comes back, and Bartholomew, do you go back to the house immediately following your interview, or is there anything else that you would like to take care of?
No, I think he'd go straight back. There's nothing I can think of that's pressing enough to spend time on right now.
You come back, and the house, as you open the door, immediately smells of bacon.
Oh, what? Balfour, how much bacon did you buy?
Enough.
All of it.
He didn't have as much as I wanted, but he had enough.
Okay,
We're not running out anytime soon.
that's good, I guess. Okay.
And 2 silver pieces entirely on bacon.
2 silver on just bacon. Did you at least haggle? Like, come on.
You said get rations.
Yeah,
I-
but you can't Okay,
I got us some rations. I
good job, Suri.
Bart, hand Bart one of them. I'll keep an eye on the other one from Bafuur for a second.
I don't
I
think
mean-
Bafuur's going to touch it.
Yeah, I think he's good.
Balfour does still have a ration in his kit right now.
Oh yeah. Okay.
He's just never touched it.
I mean, who's going to when you're not watching your cholesterol?
Oh, I'm watching it. Watching it go up.
So, over the course of the next hour and a half or more, I don't know, the bacon is cooked, preparations are made, and with that, I think it's time to go to Innistrad.
Balfour's going to just to have this said, the bacon is going to be like flat, put in between like cloth sheets, I guess, and then like rolled up into like almost like a bedroll bundle, so that it's like contained, but like nothing's going to be like, it's not just going to be loose bacon in the backpack. It's like pressed and like rolled into a tight bundle
Yep, that's
and
gonna
then
keep
put
it
in his
fresh.
bag.
He just went up to his room and grabbed his bed sheets off the bed to wrap up his bacon.
Gonna get
That
so
makes way too
greasy.
much sense.
I think in the time it took to finish the bacon, Bart and Suri were continuing to tell Leven about Innistrad and teaching her how to planeswalk and trying to really make sure she understands. So that...
Probably went downstairs where the smell is less intense.
Probably not. He doesn't know if he can trust Leven that much yet, so we probably just went in the study or outside in the garden. But I guess.
This isn't exactly like a garden place. This is like a row house.
Yeah, I'm imagining like in Britain they've got their little garden boxes behind their houses. That's what
Yeah.
I'm picturing, just like a small little garden box area.
Basically.
I like it.
And I guess we'll find out in the next episode if All of us make it.
Yay! So yeah, join us next time for Fireside Dice.
Bacon sold separately. Thank you all so much for joining us in this episode of Fireside Dice. This show is produced by Realms of Roleplaying. Intro and outro music was created by Alexander Nakarada of Serpent Sound Studios, and all other sound effects and music were created by Monument Studios. We'll see you all in the next episode.
This will forever be known as the bacon episode.
I think we should just
There's
rename
not
the
one
podcast to the Bacon Cast.
Oh gosh.
The Bacon Dice Podcast.
Bacon side dice.
Bacon Side Dice.
Art's
There
bacon
needs to
and
be a
bonding.
one shot at some point where it's just a side adventure of Bafuur looking for bacon. And that's we'll
That'd be
call that
good.
one Bafuur's Bacon Cast.
There you go.
End of the episode, Balfour wakes up in a puddle of sweat. It was all a dream.